Let me ask you something that might sting a little. If one person in your business took a week off, would everything still run or would the whole place wobble? Because if you're relying on one or two superhero staff to keep the wheels on, you don't have a strong business. You've got a fragile business. And the worst part? Superhero staff feel like a blessing until they quietly become the bottleneck that kills your growth. Let's be blunt, this person may even be you. Phil Badura here, and today we're going on a deep dive into systems versus superheroes. Why relying on heroics is costing you profit, culture, and customers, and your own sanity. And what to build instead so that your business scales without burning people out. My systems philosophy and principle is systems create consistency, people create results. Let's dive into how this principle and how it is impacted by the superhero syndrome. I call it superheroitis. It's the condition where a business runs on individual brilliance instead of repeatable execution. And it shows up like this. One person knows everything. They fix the problems faster than anyone else. They're the go-to for every decision. They stay late, skip breaks, and rescue deadlines. And everyone says we'd be stuffed without them. Now, before we judge it, most owners accidentally create it. Because when you're under pressure, you do what works today. You give the job to the fastest person, you ask the reliable one, you lean on the strong one. And suddenly you've built a business where competence is punished with more work. And everyone else learns helplessness. Let's talk about what this really costs you, because it's never just one busy person. Cost number one, you can't scale output. You want more clients, bigger projects, better margin, but delivery is limited by the superhero's own capacity. If the superhero is at 90 to 100% utilization already, growth doesn't mean more profit, it means more stress. Cost number two, knowledge becomes a hostage. All the critical know-how is locked in someone's head. Supplier quirks, quoting rules, client preferences, how to handle one product line, and how to fix that recurring problem. That's not a business asset, that's a business risk. Cost number three, culture goes sideways. The superhero gets resentful, the team gets dependent, the owner gets anxious. And people stop thinking, they stop owning, and they wait for the superhero. That's how you get a workplace where accountability is blurred, standards are inconsistent, and you repeat the same mistakes because nothing is documented and trained. Cost number four, customer experience becomes inconsistent. Customers don't care what your superhero or that your superhero is overloaded. They only experience delays, drop balls, and mixed messages. Superhero-itis creates a business that looks busy, but it feels unreliable. Now here's the part that separates a busy owner from a true business builder. When you're stuck in superhero-itis, your attention goes to whatever's loud. Your focus goes to urgent tasks, and your energy goes into patching symptoms. A successful business owner does the opposite. Their attention goes to the constraint and the root cause. Their focus goes to the system and their energy goes to building repeatability, capability and competence in the team. So instead of asking, who can save us today? You start asking, what must be true so we never need saving again? That's the shift. All right, let's get practical. If you want to replace superheroes with systems, you need to build the business so ordinary people can produce extraordinary consistency. Here are the systems I recommend every SME owner builds, starting with the ones that immediately reduce dependence on the superhero. System number 1, role clarity and decision rights. If people don't know what they don't own anything. I'm going to say that one again. People don't know what they own, or if people don't know what they don't own anything. So, you need clear roles, what this role is responsible for, clear outcomes, how do we measure success, and clear decision rights, what they can decide without you. The simple tool here is write a one-page role scorecard. And in the scorecard include the purpose of the role, the top 5 responsibilities, the weekly outcomes, and also this role can decide blah 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 list. If your superhero is the only one who can decide, you've got a decision bottleneck. System number 2, the critical task playbook, the SOPs that actually get used. Most businesses either have no procedures or have a dusty folder that no one reads. The goal isn't to document everything. The goal is to document the critical tasks that create money, protect quality and prevent chaos. So start with things like quoting, your invoicing, how are jobs handed over, your ordering and ordering processes, customer onboarding, complaints handling, end of job checklists, and then also your safety compliance steps. So how to build a SOP fast. Record your superhero doing the task, whether it's a screen recording or a phone video. Then turn that into a checklist, a template, and a definition of done. A good SOP is not a novel, it's a repeatable path. System number 3, training and cross-skilling, so knowledge isn't trapped. This is where you cure dependency. Create a skills matrix. Across the top, have your key tasks. Down the left hand side is your team names. And then your score capability might be Y equals skilled, N equals unskilled, and T equals in training. Include a competency score, e.g. 0 to 5 levels of competency that you rate each team member against. The skills matrix is then used to identify the skill gaps in the business. Your goal, no task is owned by one person only. Then schedule 1 hour a week of train the bench. Because here's the truth. If your superhero gets sick, resigns or burns out, you don't lose a person. You lose a whole operating system. System number 4, capacity planning. So you stop overloading your best people. Most heroics come from poor planning. You need a weekly rhythm where you look at confirmed work, the upcoming deadlines, the available labour hours, and key constraints, whether it be suppliers, approvals, weather, equipment. Then you make decisions before the week explodes. what gets delayed, what gets delegated, what gets subcontracted, and what gets declined. Growth doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing the right work with controlled delivery. System 5, a meeting rhythm that creates accountability without babysitting. If your only system is yelling across the office, you'll always need superheroes. Build a simple meeting cadence. Number 1, daily 10-minute huddle. What's the focus today? Any blockers? And who owns what? Number 2, a weekly leadership meeting, 45 to 60 minutes. What are the numbers, the priorities, the problems, the decisions, and we can also add in who's going to own these. And number 3 is a weekly team scorecard. So performance is visible, conversations are objective. When the rhythm is strong, the superhero isn't the glue anymore. The system is. System number 6, quality control checkpoints so customers get consistency. Superhero-itis is often hides poor quality upstream. So build checkpoints. Before work starts, job brief plus a scope confirmed. Midstream, handover checks are done. Before invoicing, completion checklist plus photos plus sign-off. This protects your brand and stops rework. And rework is one of the biggest thieves of profit and time. System number 7, ownership culture. So people think, not wait. This is the part owners avoid because it's confronting, or it's perceived as being confronting. If you want systems to work, you must build a culture where people take responsibility, problems are raised early, mistakes become learning, and accountability is normal, not personal. One phrase I use with teams is bring me solutions, not surprises. Your job as the leader is to coach thinking until it becomes how the team operates. Let me give you a couple of examples from the kind of businesses I coach. Details change, but the patterns are dead accurate. Example 1, the gun estimator in a trades business. This business had one estimator who could price anything in minutes. Everyone loved him, but quotes waited when he was on site, follow-ups were inconsistent, and sales results swung wildly week to week. What we built was a quoting checklist, a pricing template with rules, a scope questionnaire for the customer, and trained a second team member to quote the top 80% of jobs. The result? The superhero stopped being the bottleneck. Quote turnaround stabilised, and the owner finally had predictable sales activity. Example number 2, the operations fixer in a manufacturing shop. One supervisor could solve every problem on the floor, but the team didn't improve because the supervisor always rescued them. We introduced daily huddles, a visible production board, a top 3 priorities rule, and a stop and document habit for recurring issues. Within weeks, the number of interruptions dropped. The supervisor could lead instead of firefight, and the owner had the confidence to take on bigger orders. The point is simple. When you build systems, you don't lose great people, you free them to do higher value work. So here's the challenge I want you to leave with today. If your business depends on superheroes, it's not scalable. If it's not sellable, and it's not safe. And remember, systems create consistency, people create results. Your next level won't come from pushing harder. It'll come from building the operating rhythm that makes performance repeatable. Start with 1 week or one step this week. Choose your biggest bottleneck. Identify the critical tasks the superhero owns. Document one process. Train one person. And install one accountability rhythm. And if you want a hand, if you want help seeing the gaps clearly and building the right systems in the right order, book a strategy session with me and we'll map out what needs to happen first. Because the goal is not a bigger business that needs you more, it's a stronger business that works so you can lead, grow and actually enjoy it. Phil Badura, turning business dreams into reality.